All right, welcome back, everyone. We bring you all back to the Prismari dorms, specifically Will and Rowan's room, as you all meet up after a sort of mad dash to feel more prepared for a situation that you guys are kind of going in blind to. Um, when you guys meet up, Will and Rowan look about the same, but they have taken the time to fully put on their armor, their swords at their sides, weapons that they don't generally carry around on their person. Packs sort of swung over their shoulders. Uh, is there anything that you guys would like to say or do before we head out in character, based on the things that you guys have been doing?
Philin, excuse me, is gonna give 10 GP to Dove and 10 GP to Motiva and say, this is from Nora.
Whoa.
Oh.
Why?
It's the way it was explained to me. It's sort of a reparation from the school for dealing with unforeseen circumstances, such as what happens today.
Honey? Hold on, let me add that to my inventory.
Sometimes.
The school said, sorry!
Yeah, the school said, oopsie.
Oopsie.
You did good, though.
Please don't be mad!
That sucked. Here's some gold.
We have important people here, please.
Oh, Mackenzie, are you talking?
No.
Oh, sorry. Dove was fluttering, so I thought you were trying to talk. My bad.
Tiva will look for you. Tiva is going to take out her wallet. Okay, here we go. And she's going to give a funny little looking business card. Say, I have readied somebody for you to make money off of holy water. You will need to make an appointment with the Entrepreneurs Club. His name is Grayson. Grayson?
Yeah. The business card that is given to you specifically says... Let me get it. I have it written down all fancy.
Oh, it's all fancy.
Yes, actually, hold on. I'll send it to you too, because I think I forgot to send it to you at the time.
Ooh. Fancy.
Yes, it's laminated. It's a laminated business card.
I hope he dies.
No. He'll never die.
Yeah, but Diva passes it and says, I know you want to make money and seemed interested in the holy water gimmick. So I asked him about it, and he said that if you make an appointment with him and compensate him, he does want money. He'd be willing to help.
Oh. Thank you.
She winks.
Then tucks the card away into her bag. Or, not bag. Pocket.
Basket.
My basket.
I love that your only carrying container is still just a basket.
I need to get her a proper fucking bag.
You really do. Mackenzie, you have a proper bag, right?
Let me check.
Please
have
say
a
no.
chest.
Yeah, technically not,
Eh.
actually. None of you have a normal bag.
I have a bag, though. I have things that can contain.
Wait,
Go
do you have a
to-
backpack?
My guitar bag. People use guitar bags as backpacks.
Well, yeah, but it's a guitar case. I think. Oh wait, no, yeah. I think those are just like it's just a guitar-shaped bag. It's weird for me to remember like bags exist because they're weird in my brain.
Dove and Philin stop by the school store to get backpacks.
You can if you want, but as you guys are sort of talking amongst yourself, your upperclassmen companions look about ready to go, and I feel like after a while, Rowan comes up to you guys as a conglomerate group and just puts a hand on her hip and say, "Y'all ready to go?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Motiva leads on.
Oh yeah, delicious. Where are you going to lead them to?
The hole that Michonne took her to.
Yeah, so as you're kind of walking towards the biblioplex, I actually do think that Rowan would bring up, are we just going there? Were we not going to investigate the scenes of the crime? Isn't that on the itinerary?
Yes.
Yes. I suppose that's true.
Don't get me wrong, if you're not as interested, you can go on ahead and we can swing by there.
Say something smart.
What?
Say something snobby. You're clever.
I mean, I don't know. Do you guys want to investigate them or not?
I am curious.
Okay, well, are we going... you see after a minute of her deferring to your judgment, she just kind of laughs and shrugs and says, I guess it doesn't really matter which one we go to. If none of you have a preference, I'd like to swing by while it's dark, a bit easier to do things.
Pause real quick.
Yeah. Hello?
Yes. Hello?
Oh, hi, sorry,
Hello?
your mic just keeps cutting out. I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said yes.
Okay, so you go ahead and cast it. You take 10 minutes to sort of do this thing while your two upperclassmen are kind of looking around, but also kind of trying to keep an eye out since you're specifically doing a longer casting. If either of the other two also want to do anything, now would be a good time.
Refresh me on what all happened with Motiva's thing. I know the chest came alive as like a mimic.
Life is a mimic, and we pushed it off of a bridge.
Yeah, so the monster does not have necessarily, the monster fingerprints doesn't have a corpse here because it's off the bridge. But basically what had happened was a mimic came alive and attacked a student. And there was sort of like a panic / stampede situation where everybody tried to run while Motiva and Rosie handled the situation.
Okay. I think I'm gonna ask Motiva like where the chest was like sitting. When it turned into a mimic. And wherever that spot is, I want to investigate that specific area for anything sus.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. Go ahead and give me an investigation, and I'll give you guys your answers sort of at the same time, unless Dev also wants to do something.
You could investigate the bridge.
Possibly, but I don't know. I don't think I can do anything in addition to the situation.
That's also fair. You don't have to do anything since the other two are doing stuff if you don't wanna.
In investigation.
Yes. So, interestingly enough, your two situations sort of resolve themselves at around the same time, where Motiva, you don't really sense any residual magic in this area, especially since you're particularly far away from places like the Biblioplex or other buildings, places that would have enchanted items. But Felin, as soon as you sort of get to that area where the chest sort of came alive, as you sort of kneel down to touch the grass, your hands come away with a bit of an oily texture.
Ew.
Ooh.
And it leaves sort of a I don't want to say dark, like super dark, but like a grayish residue on your fingers from where you touched the dew-laden grass.
Oh god.
That's gross.
I'm
Do-
sorry. Oily.
Oily? Do I have like any idea of what this substance could be?
If
Lick
you want to make me
Lick it.
Lump.
like an arcana or a medicine, as you sort of like kind of look over this residue and see if there's anything you can recollect about it or discern from it.
I will do medicine because I have a +6 to that. And I'm also
Oh,
going to
that's
cast
delightful.
guidance on myself.
Sure, do it.
Let me get to my body.
Sometimes I forget how smart Phelan is.
It's 9 plus 4. 2, 3, 4. Another 19.
Ooh.
19. Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
you can't really discern what it is by smell or by touch or by sight, but it has sort of the same consistency as like a balm or like even like a lotion almost, but the texture is way off. So your knowledge of medicine would make you think that it's like a balm or like maybe even a salve of some sort, but you can't discern what exactly this sort of thing is based on instead of the composition, if that makes sense.
Fucked up little lotion.
I fucked up little lotion on the grass.
I share what I have gathered with the others.
Cool. So as you share that information, 1 second. I told one of you that someone told you that the grass looked weird after a situation, but I don't remember who it was.
It was Sarah.
Okay, delightful. So, it just kind of reminds you of how somebody said that to you, but other than that, what are the other two of you doing?
Could I either use my alchemist tools to try to identify the substance or ritual cast detect poison and disease on it?
Ooh.
Yeah, which one do you want to do?
I guess first I'll ritual cast detect poison and disease just to be sure.
Delicious.
Big brain, big
Okay.
brain.
1 second.
The temptation I have to just say Motiva licks it is really bad.
So this is a very interesting. Sorry, I'm trying to give you an answer because this spell has caught me in a technicality and I don't want to give you a wrong answer. I am going to say that it does trigger detect poison.
Ooh.
I would definitely want to say that this spell would detect that this is a harmful substance.
Okay. It also does identify the kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease in each case. So it would tell me what it is.
Okay, give me another second.
Very glad Motiva didn't lick it.
Yeah.
That would have been a little bit bad.
It's just on my hand now.
Sorry, this is taking me a bit. Because here's the technicality, is that it's not based on a type of poison. It is just a harmful effect that I think would count as a poison. So...
Not written as a poison, but definitely not good for you.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think about what you would glean from it. So I'm sorry that this is taking a while, but I definitely want to, like, give you something for it, you know? Okay, I think what I'm going to have to settle with is that it doesn't give you an exact type of poison, but what you're sort of gleaning from this confusing response this spell is giving you is that it is... The only way I can describe is the idea of like a magical poison, something that interacts with magic specifically and mana in a negative effect. I'm sorry that that's really vague, but like I said, the book doesn't give me a lot.
That's okay.
I hope that you think that this information is horrifying and also cool.
I'm deeply perplexed and worried by this mystery substance.
I'm deeply grateful that I did not lick it.
Yeah.
I would have loved if you licked it.
You would have, devil.
Would let us see what it does.
that's all I got. I will let my friends know what I see and tell Philin to probably wipe it off on something.
Yeah, I'm gonna prestidigitate my hand.
That's very fair. That's very fair. I like the idea that Will and Rowan also were kind of idly examining it with you. But neither of them particularly know about this wheelhouse of magic or science. And they both kind of take a step away from you as you get rid of it once they hear that it is a type of a harmful substance.
Poison. Motiva's gonna go to the funny little bridge that the mimic. We keep calling it a mimic. I don't even know if it's a mimic at this point, but I'm gonna keep calling it a mimic.
It sure was a trunk with teeth, and that, if it sounds like a mimic and looks like a mimic.
A mimic. I want to see if its corpse is still there.
Yeah, so technically to do that, you will have to get to all the way at the bottom of the bridge, and this is a very high bridge. I actually don't imagine you can see the bottom because of how big the picture is of the biblioplex. You do have ways of getting down there if you take your time, or like Dove has Featherfall and stuff like that. So you could go and try to examine it if it is still there, but you can't see if it is still there at this point.
I will say, even if Dove does have Featherfall, getting back up.
You would be able to get back up, but it would probably be a little annoying.
Yeah.
A little bit annoying. But as far as I know, Mackenzie does not have any spells.
I don't think I can actually use Featherfall at the moment. I think I'm out of spells.
Oh, that's very fair.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
Yeah, we a bunch of spell slotless bitches.
I have spells for my feet.
Yeah. You
Motiva
always... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say you always could come back tomorrow night when you have spells.
Tomorrow night they're going to church.
Yeah, but like when they're back.
It'd probably be gone by like now though, right? Because like the teachers asked you like where it was.
Yeah.
True.
I think that is a very reasonable assumption to make in this situation. Because like teachers told you guys outright that they were investigating the situation.
Yeah.
Can I suss out if anybody looks suspicious here? Like a criminal always comes back to the scene of the crime thing?
Yeah, if you want to make me an idle perception as you're kind of standing on the bridge to the biblioplex.
Please don't be bad.
Wait, what are you doing?
I got a 21. It was a nat 20 plus 1.
Oh my god, that's outstanding. I love that. Okay, yeah.
I almost got 2. I saw it almost land on 2.
So like I said, you guys have been seeing people this whole time. You've seen people come and go, wandering around. But something that you would notice with your nat 20 as you're kind of looking around, there are a decent amount of people coming and going, but generally it's people coming and going from the biblioplex. Very few people are out at this hour that don't look like they are going somewhere in particular. So while individual students might look like, more or less suspicious, I think the thing you're looking for is if anybody looks like they are coming to the area, and it looks like nobody is really stopping in this area, except maybe to kind of like look at you guys kind of confused because you're kind of just walking around looking at grass and looking over the bridge. So if anything, you guys are the ones that stand out right now.
Whenever Motiva sees people looking at her, she blows a raspberry.
You see most people look kind of like perturbed or confused, but occasionally you see like somebody basically make a face in response. Like my go-to assumption is that you see a vampire just hiss at you and keep walking.
She wolf vessels. Anyway. Motiva goes back to the gang. We're not going to find anything else.
Shall we check one of the other locations?
One that still has the body? Yes.
Yeah, one do you want to go to then? You can see there is another one that's on Central Campus, which is the one where the scene of Felin's crime, essentially. And you can see if it's there. I will say, if you think that the mimic isn't still down there, then the idea that the body might not be at the other ones is also a natural assumption.
Yeah.
But you could check if you feel like looking.
I think if we wanted to find the body real bad, it would be best to go check out Dove's site.
I want to look at the bear.
I don't know if they would just leave it there, though, because it did just turn into a monster, so I don't know if they would leave it unattended.
True. Could still look at, like, the stage and stuff, though. Maybe, like, the other props and stuff.
That is true. Like, there are definitely other ways you could, like, investigate the areas. I just didn't want you to go be like, we can go to find the body, but, like, by your own, like, deduction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I definitely won't stop you guys if you want to go do things, or even if you guys want to split up to go look at things. It is up to whatever you guys want to do. Will and Rowan kind of are only here to ensure that you guys are not going to get in trouble sneaking around at night.
My vote is for Dove's place.
Mackenzie?
Oh, I don't mind either way where we go.
Ashton?
Let's check out Dove's.
Okay.
It's the most different from Martiva's. No offense, Sarah.
It's fine.
It is true. It is an entirely different locale.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys go up to enter the Biblioplex to go over to Prismari campus, where again you get the same sort of vibe where there are like some people. You've seen the most people that you've seen on campus in the Biblioplex, whether it's people studying, people researching things, you know, wandering around, that sort of thing. There's a lot of people who are idle, so when you go up to the teleportation room, you're like the only people there as you sort of teleport over. And a similar situation is in Prismari, but I feel like it's even more quiet, as there's less nocturnal people out and about on this campus. Nope, Silverquill, never mind, I'm sorry. More nocturnal people. Sorry, there's two stages, so I got confused. But when you go over to Silverquill, there are definitely a lot more people moving around at night, whether they look vampiric in nature or not. And you go to make your way over to the Rose stage. And you see something interesting. Is that there is still someone looking around here. I will describe them. Let me get their description really quick.
Ooh.
You see this sort of, I don't want to say, I'll probably say like middle-aged looking man with sort of dark hair pushed back. He has this sort of like stern face and a widow's peak, wearing silver quill colors, black nail polish and many rings across his fingers. And you see, despite this area being empty, and you get the feeling as you sort of enter the building before you see him that there's sort of like things put up near the doors. It's not necessarily like cordoned off, but it definitely doesn't look like it did earlier when you were here, Dove. And you see that there is a person sort of looking around, skulking around. You can't really tell unless you watch for longer, but I will send you art of this person.
Art?
I love when there's art of characters in this book, because not everybody has art in this book, unfortunately.
Can't say I disagree. Hello?
Hello?
Man?
A man.
Loki?
He does look like Loki.
Yes.
I look at him every time and I'm like, this is just Loki.
Yeah.
Oh no, he looks like a professor. We can't get caught. Gang, how do we approach this?
Do we
Which
walk-
Debating.
Do we talk to him?
It seems like your decision. Do you say that out loud to the gang? Like, are you guys kind of like going to weigh the pros and cons before going up in character?
I think Motiva would say, like, and that looks like a professor.
You see as you guys sort of bring the question up that Will sort of leans forward and like tries to like I guess suss out the professor is what you think, like trying to like see better from like your vantage point of near the entrance. And he kind of says quietly, that is a professor. It looks like Fane, I think.
I'm sorry, did you say Zane?
Fane with an F.
Fane? Isn't that the man that will give you anything you want?
Ah, yeah, the smuggler.
Rowan gives a bit of a nod, and says, last I heard.
Well then.
Yeah, Grayson and Mina talked about him a lot. He's a big deal.
He's a school favorite. Rowan kind of gives a shrug and says, what can I say when you're this far away from everything else?
Understandable.
What do we do?
What do you want to do? It's really up to if you think he's sus or not. I don't tell you what to do. I simply set up the room and I push you.
Well, Motiva's gonna look over and say, well, who thinks they can act the most natural?
Or we could wait and watch for a bit longer, because if we approach him now, then we won't know what he's doing, and he may try to cover it up.
That is a good point.
So smart.
Yeah, do you guys want to try and find a vantage point to sort of watch him for a little bit?
We stare and watch at a teacher, sure.
You will have to find a vantage point and roll stealth to just watch him without him noticing, because he is kind of walking around the area. Stealth vision time.
Let's go, gang.
Yeah. Let's do a group. We'll do a group stealth and then we'll do a group perception.
Can I give inspiration? Can I wait? Yeah, can I give inspiration to? Oh, fuck! I don't know whose dexterity is like bad.
I can give you a very fun little hint just from visuals.
I don't imagine Will has good deck.
Well, Will is also wearing heavy armor, so I will tell you he will have disadvantage.
Yeah, there we go.
You know, I think I'll just give the inspiration to Will. Here you go, Will.
What are you gonna say to him?
Yeah,
I'm
please
gonna
give me a vibe.
Are target the man with the prosthetic. I dare you.
I don't know.
That's fine. We can just say that you sort of like pat him on the shoulder, and give sort of a pointed look, not like a negative one, but like a you got this. What were you gonna do, Flynn?
Philin is also gonna like touch his arm and give him guidance.
Delightful. We love helping the boy.
Yes.
I like how we're all cornering Will. Does Rowan have heavy armor?
No, she wears leather armor.
God damn it, Will. I hate you.
I will say, considering he's getting 2 different people helping him out on this, I think he looks a little bit embarrassed, but not super put out, because I think he gets it. But he's like, man.
Motiva, I want to get Motiva to give Bardo inspo to the two Zavias.
What?
Motiva give Bardic Inspiration to Fulin and Dove.
Can't you give it one at a time? Or can you give it to multiple people at a time?
I will look.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm not familiar enough with Bardic Inspiration anymore. I have rolled for the twins, and they did okay.
A creature can only have one Bardic Inspiration at a time, but as far as I can tell, I can give more than one.
Okay, then yeah, you can give them over to. Wait, didn't you give one to Rosie? How many do you have?
I have 3, and I only gave one to Chad.
Oh, never mind. I'm an idiot. Sorry.
But Motiva's she's just gonna be like, please don't embarrass yourselves in front of your favorite twins.
Oh god. This might not work out, besties.
Please. No!
Man, we do have a spread.
16.
Did you add your Bardo inspo?
Yes,
Mackenzie?
I did. Yes, I
16.
did.
Okay, so we got a 16. We got a 9.
God.
We got a... What'd you get, Sarah?
I got a 12.
12. Okay. Alright.
I need to
I
roll
have a
perception.
+0.
Yeah, what's up? Okay, yeah, you guys can go ahead and give me your perceptions also if you would like.
What are we rolling
23.
perception for?
To watch him, because I thought you guys were going to hide and watch him.
Okay, makes sense.
Yes. You also can use investigation if you like that modifier more, but
No, I think I'm good with my 17.
Okay. 1 second, I'm gonna...
I really like me just being like, guys, don't embarrass yourselves. He rolls a 9 on stealth. I got a 6 perception and a 9 stealth. What's up, gang?
Oh no.
I need to just stop shoving my foot in my mouth.
We're in danger.
Okay,
look at us.
so 6 perception, 17 perception. What did you get, Sarah?
23.
23, that's awesome.
Yeah, I got them in fucking elf eyes.
See what elf eyes see, Philin.
A bitch.
Wow!
Okay, so you guys hide sort of behind some of the seating at the very start of the stage, so you don't have to go into the lip of the sort of Colosseum floor as you find your hiding spot and you sit and you wait. And you spend a good bit of time, I want to say maybe like 30 minutes to an hour, as you watch the entire time that Fane is here before he leaves. And you see that he is sort of wandering the stage and sort of inspecting a lot of the damage. Occasionally he will see an item out of place or on the floor that he will pick up and also sort of carefully examine He'll pick up a fabric and slowly bunch it in his hands to look over every piece of it. Before slipping it into a sort of side, like a satchel that he has. And you see the more he adds things to it, that there's definitely some sort of magical charm on this, as it seems that he can fit way more into this bag than it looks like it can fit. And occasionally you see him duck behind the stage into what you can assume are the backstage area for the actors. Before he, slow and unhurried as he's been this entire time, goes to walk out of the same entrance that you guys entered before you hid. And right as he is sort of about to leave, if you guys stay in your hiding spots, without even looking in your direction, he goes to say, I would be careful if I were you.
Boring.
What'd you say?
Motiva said boring.
It's not my fault. My entire job is to make sure that I wrangle students that like to be in places they're not supposed to be. Get better at hiding.
Students like my friend here get attacked then.
I couldn't hear you, darling.
Don't let people like my friend here get attacked then at your school.
I hope you don't think this is something any of us wanted.
No.
Okay then.
I need to check something right now.
Okay.
Hold on. I think I have a class with him. No!
Yes, you do. I hear Ash in the
Motiva making
distance.
great first impressions over here.
I love when you accuse a teacher of being okay and letting people get hurt at their school. We love that.
The little message in the top corner. Professor Fane will remember this.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
We
Well,
had our own curiosities, of course, but I apologize for spying on you.
No, it's understandable if you... Since at least one of you had an inkling that it could have been an inside job. It's always better to investigate curiosities you have, especially ones that directly correlate to you. I will, however, return back to my original warning. There is an assumption that a criminal returns to the scene of the crime. I won't say anything, but you should be careful about who sees you looking too closely. You all were there when it happened, after all.
do I say that? Do I say that? Dang. Y/N. Do I say something?
I cannot
My-
control the Motiva.
Yeah.
He pipe up and say, well, he saw it was an Auric. Auric?
Yeah, that's how it's pronounced.
Motiva would pipe up and say, well, he saw that it was an Auric, so none of us are wearing masks.
Norik don't always wear masks. That's why they're so hard to rout out.
Yeah, well, this one was stupid and wore a mask to a funny little play.
Well, I can't speak for their machinations. The funny thing about people with that sort of cause is visibility gets recruits. I hope that they didn't have anything to do with it. But I suppose hope is idealistic at this point, if you've already seen one.
They seem stupid, so I'm not too worried.
Was anyone else aside from us three, our 3 clubs, attacked?
No. There were no other
Oh.
there were no other situations.
Why would they limit it so?
Well, if I had to put myself into the shoes of a terrorist, then I can tell you with certainty that these 3 areas were the most populated parts of the school at the time that it happened. So my only assumption is that they intended to cause harm.
I don't think Dove has heard of an Oriq before, is that right?
It is
No.
true. The only person who has heard it mentioned was Motiva because she asked a question. What's up, Sarah?
I was just gonna say I also have not heard of them. Also, how do you spell that?
ORIQ.
Ooh,
Yes. With a capital O.
nice.
Hey, can I ask a question since we have him hostage?
You don't have him hostage, but he is here interacting with you. He has stopped
No.
walking out.
That's what I meant. Martina's gonna pipe up and say, "Where's the what do you guys call it? Owl bear.
What?
Where's the owl bear?"
We took all of the items that came alive, and we put them into storage to be studied and tested on.
Do you know what the substance was in the fields?
You're so smart.
You see he looks perplexed for a second as he sort of looks at you, and he seems to have a light bulb go off in his head, and he gives a bit of a nod and a noise of understanding, and he's like, "Oh, you must have seen the balm then." No, that is a common sight here on Strixhaven. It's officially called Eldritch Bomb. It's an item we use to strengthen items that get a lot of wear.
Oh.
Yes, it's made here on campus.
Can I insight check that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like he's not lying, but I gotta know for sure.
That's a-okay. He looks a little slimy. He does look like Loki. I can't blame you for not trusting him.
Yeah. Oh, that was a shit roll though.
No.
Insight 10.
Yeah, he looks to be telling the truth, and he looks to be confident in his answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Dove will just speak up and go, that may be true, but when I cast Detect Poison and Disease on it, it did essentially trigger that it was harmful, in a sense. And my friend here did notice that the grass where she had been attacked looked different that day. I don't take it that it's usually spread over areas like that.
He seems to take a moment to think. And he goes to shake his head and say, "No, you're right. It might have been looked over as something that happened in the confusion of the day and the scuffles, but we can go back over that area and see if perhaps another substance was left in its place. If it... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Is it normally poisonous?
No, it's not. I mean, you don't want to ingest it. Most magical ointments aren't meant for ingestion, but it is not a harmful substance. It has never made things come alive, as it were. It just makes things more resistant to certain types of damages if it's used for certain types of things. Like pots, more resistant to fire and that sort of thing. But as I said, it could have been a something that looked like it to confuse us. I'm sure nobody on faculty would have bat an eye if they saw something that looked like Eldritch Bomb. So I appreciate the lead.
Of course. I don't want anyone else to get hurt as much as you do, I'm sure.
He gives a small smile at that, and he says, "I would be concerned if you did, but I still appreciate the sentiment. Thank you for cooperating, despite any of your misgivings."
I hope that this piece of information will make us look less suspicious in your eyes as well.
It does. This alleviates any concerns I have. Still, I was more warning you that other people would see you as suspicious. As another suspicious individual, I wasn't going to tattle on students sneaking out. Just a friendly warning.
It is much appreciated.
Of course.
Yeah. I was just gonna make Motiva nod and say, no, it makes sense. We just wanted to stare and watch you put things in a bag.
Well, can't say it's the first time. That's a joke. This is when you laugh.
See, I know it's supposed to be, but I feel like that's not a joke. Well, bye. Motiva just walks in.
Do you mean out?
Yeah. You guys don't have to follow. She's just...
Motiva, as you go to leave, the other two, you see that Fane also goes to sort of nod at you guys before leaving. But Dove and Falin, you catch that Fane sort of meets the Kenrith's eyes from where they stand behind you for a second before he leaves.
Oh.
But Motiva, you don't see that.
Don't bully my Kenrith!
Can I? I know I just incited. Can I incite that?
Sure, if you want to.
Non-stop insight. Non-stop insight.
Oh, that was a good roll that time. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 23.
23, delicious. So something very interesting about this moment is that it's not quite long enough for you to glean any sort of emotion or what is being said, but you feel like there is sort of a sense of understanding in that gaze before he turns away and leaves. So it feels like they... I don't want to... I want to say that it feels like they connected on something, but what that something is or what emotions that evokes, you couldn't glean.
Gotcha.
Yeah, especially
I'm
because you weren't looking at the
writing
Kenrith
this down.
behind you. You're just looking at that guy, so that's what you got from that guy.
Hell yeah.
So,
I'm doing really good on notes this session so far.
oh hell yeah, I
You're
love
doing really
notes.
sexy. You're so sexy right now, babe.
Okay. Oh yes, Dove. Gimme.
I think once Fane leaves, I think Dove will turn around and kind of look between the two twins, and I think they're just going to ask, have you dealt with the Auric before?
So something very interesting, as you go to turn around to speak, is that when you're the first person that's looked back at the Kenriths during this entire conversation. And so as Fane leaves, you look behind you, and the Kenriths look a surprising amount of unperturbed.
Cool.
I don't think you ever see Will and Rowan specifically look this. I want to say it's a suspicious and wary look, but almost like hackles up levels of a suspicious. It's like so suspicious it almost comes off as angry or defensive. And you ask that sort of thing, and the first response you get is Rowan sort of saying, sort of really low and under her breath, if Auric are a part of this, then that's really bad. That's bad news.
Yeah. I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar with the Auric. What exactly are they?
I think that they go to start explaining to you, but I also think they start to like slowly start leaving. So as you guys are sort of walking out, Rowan is sort of walking a bit ahead, and I think that Will is sort of explaining this to you, but I think that Will kind of goes to kind of quietly tell you, they're described as terrorists, if that's a word that's familiar to you. They are people, generally violently anti-Strixhaven. It's a not common, but it's a well-known problem that the university has an issue with Auric trying to infiltrate it to cause harm, damage, steal. It's not really known widely what their goal with it is, but... And he kind of looks over to Rowan, who is now a good couple steps ahead of you guys, and looks back at you both and says, if the Auric are already here, then that's... well... there was an issue with them last year, and we had hoped that we had routed them out already.
So, you mean to say that among the students or the faculty, there are Auric members?
There would have to be, if the Auric are attacking Strixhaven. Last I checked, you can't be on the campus unless you're registered as a part of the system. Hashmalin itself is a form of defense now, after last year. It's why nobody walks between campuses anymore. I'm gonna stop really quick, 'cause I don't know where Motiva is, actually.
I was actually going to ask, can Motiva try to low-key lead them to the hole?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to say maybe you were kind of outside and like waiting for them, and so now you guys have sort of merged together, and you guys are now walking kind of idly towards the Biblioplex.
Do I have to roll anything for this?
Why would you?
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. For like remembering where it is and stuff. I'm definitely okay with not rolling though.
Yeah, I'll say that you can remember to do it, but if you're definitely wanting to make sure that, like, people, like, if you're trying to be stealthy or make sure people aren't following you, then that would have to be more rolls and stuff like that to make sure. But as far as you are aware right now, you are alone. But I do want to see if I wanted to ask because I wanted to see if anybody had, like, comments to make about the thing that just dropped. So I don't want to move on before the conversation's done.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
I think Falin is kind of just silently, like, contemplating and taking that information in.
Okay.
Motiva would shrug and say, it makes sense. Any grand establishment has somebody that hates it. Also, whenever you have a grand library, people want in.
That's sort of the assumption that we've gleaned as well.
They also just might be bitches. Lots of issues can happen with power. I gotta say, Strixhaven is expensive and hard to get into. It might be a fucked up jealousy issue. Did that sound stupid?
No, I was just trying to see if anybody else wanted to say anything.
I think Falin just kind of nods her head in agreement and says, I imagine it would be something along those lines, if not some kind of disagreements with what Strixhaven stands for.
I think Dove is just thinking.
Understandable. As you guys go and sort of meander, Motiva taking you to the entrance to under the biblioplex that she knows of. It takes a bit of walking. When you enter the biblioplex, nobody seems to bat an eye. It seems like it's very common for late night visitors, people studying, pulling all-nighters, that sort of thing. So it's very easy for you to slip in and sort of slip through the shelves and wander. At one point, you have to sort of ford over a river before you get to a portion of the biblioplex where it seems almost like plants are sprouting through the cracks in the tiles. And that is how Motiva, you specifically find the one loose one that you know. That is left ajar. And you see a dark hole.
Like it's open?
It is pushed to the side, yes.
Oh my god, you son of a bitch. I hate this man.
Rowan kind of looks down at the tile and sort of look almost surprised and say, "This is it?"
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that would happen, huh?
Hmm?
Oh, she looks like she almost didn't realize that she said that. And she goes to sort of like push a hand through her hair and say, "Oh, well,
Been here before?
no, not necessarily under the biblioplex. I was gonna say since you know that there's an issue, now I guess it's good enough time to bring it up, but she kind of kicks the tile a little bit to the side, widening the gap, and she says, last year during the whole, and she kind of taps her temple as a sort of indication of like, oh, that thing I did that one time, there was some damage to the biblioplex. I had thought that all of it got fixed, but I guess this is a side effect. And she kind of nudges it.
Yeah. I'm gonna fucking kill him. She like looks down the hall and did anybody bring a rope?
I know. I don't believe so.
You see
He
as you
looks
guys,
at the sweet upperclassmen.
they both kind of look between each other and they kind of give each other sort of this like amused shrug, and Rowan goes to kind of push you, Motiva, back from the hole a little bit, and she says, "Hold on." And she's gonna kind of lean down and pick up like a broken, like a rock, a piece of rubble, and toss it down into the hole. And you hear that it's only about 10 feet down. And so she goes to sit at the edge of the hole and say, I'll go down first.
Don't
Won't be a
die.
long fall. She kind of looks to you and gives a crooked smile and says, I mean, would I be the cool, strong upperclassman here to help the young planeswalkers if I was a pussy? No. And she pushes herself off. And you can sort of hear the hard crunch of her boots on the floor below. And she calls up and says, whenever you're ready.
Motiva immediately goes.
Yeah, so you go. Do you have an angle, or are you just hopping?
I imagine it's, you know, the parkour position where like.
Yeah, the half bent knees. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, she's parkour.
Yeah, so you go to push yourself off and you go to hit the ground. Rowan narrowly stepping out of your way, and you go to do the parkour roll. And you're fine.
I bust out my phone to turn on the light.
Yeah, it's very dark in here. You just see the like light cascading down from the hole. What about the other two?
I realize I do have another spell slot because I only cast Heroism, but I'm not going to use Featherfall. I'm
Yeah,
just
save
going
that
to
shit.
get out. Go ahead, sir.
I think Philin looks like a little bit excited about jumping down and like breaking into this under the bibliothek plex situation. She's gonna jump right on down.
Alright, so you jump right on down. I have to ask, are you still wearing your heels?
Oh.
I've switched to my sort of casual wear that has the wedges, so they're a bit more stable, but they are still heels.
One second.
Please don't die.
No, you're not gonna die. You're not gonna die. I think because I know that you have a negative strength. I know that you're not athletic. I'm going to say that you jump down, and I think this isn't a large fall, but it's still like a 10-foot fall, right? So I think that as you sort of hop down, Rowan steps in to gently catch you and set you down to help you because you didn't look as ready as like Motiva did.
Hell yeah. Once she gets down here, she's also gonna go ahead and cast Dancing Lights, and they look like little, very light purple little glow balls, little stars.
Delightful. I think before you hop down, Dove, I think that Will specifically would turn to you with a smile and kind of urge you to go before him so that he can bring up the rear.
Dove will nod at that, and if I remember correctly, I think Dove is still wearing the, like, red velvety suit with, like, the roses, right?
Yeah, unless if you wanted to change, I'll say that you could have it in your 30 minutes, but if you want to, you can still be wearing that.
I think Dove is probably still wearing that because I think Dove was more preoccupied with other stuff. I don't know if I picked out shoe wear for that.
We can just say it's general dress shoes, which is a bit safer than heels.
Okay, I think that makes sense. Dove will just go ahead and also hop down then.
Delightful.
I don't want to metagame and say that Dove would be used from jumping from places by living in Sharn, but Eh?
Do you want to, or do you want to be caught by Miss Sexy Rowan, who's down there
I
catching
do
people
want to
who...
be caught though, and Dove isn't all that athletic.
I'll say
Caught.
that you probably are more geared up to it, but like maybe because of like your shoes and your like your fancy outfit, maybe you don't have the right give, and then she catches you. How about this?
No
Nice.
faints. Oh.
I'm gonna be extra gay because Rowan is the one that you like, and I'm gonna say that Rowan manages to catch you bridal style for a second before setting you down.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Flynn, you should have got
Adorable.
Will to help you down.
Huh?
I said Flynn should have got Will to help her down.
That would have been really cute, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Too bad I went in before him.
Excited about sneaky things.
Yes.
As you guys are sort of waiting around, Rowan is sort of near the cascade of light again and sort of calls up to Will, kind of softly, not trying to be too loud. And she's gonna say, "Do you think you got it?" To Will. As you see him sort of go to sit down on the edge again. And after a second, he kind of looks and he kind of tests his ice prosthetic. And he is going to say, yeah, but you should step back. And Rowan steps back, making sure that all of you come with her. And I'm going to say that he... How do I describe this? You know in video games, when somebody does those, like, jump attacks and then slams down with, like, one leg and one knee?
Yeah.
I think
Superhero
he's going
landing.
to... Yeah, I think he's going to drop down feet first. And as his feet sort of hit the ground, there's this sort of really heavy thud. And ice kind of shocks up from the ground around him. But he is fine.
Flynn gives a little clap.
Will's just gonna laugh sheepishly and say, well, that wasn't me trying to show off. I wanted to make sure that nothing broke, but it seemed to work.
You should have said you were showing off.
Rowan, beside you, also says, you should have said you were showing off. I would have. And Will's just like, yeah, well. Cue generic sibling bickering. You said that you guys have lights down here?
Yeah.
Nice. I think that Will and Rowan kind of look around, and Rowan looks kind of pleased and says, oh, I'm glad you guys came prepared. I thought we would have to be the one lighting the way.
Well, I wouldn't mind me being able to turn off my flashlight. My battery isn't infinite.
All right, well, go ahead. Rowan kind of gives a sort of humoring smile. And you guys both see Will and Rowan go to cast something almost at the same time. Not quite together, but at the same time. And there's sort of a wave of a hand, and in an instant you see... as if almost they pluck their elements from the air. And it sort of goes into a ball that opens and drops to the ground, and you see they both summon two art elementals as familiars. And what's very cute about them is that you can see that obviously one is more ice themed with this sort of boning of ice and filled with a sort of dim red glow. And then the other one is made of sort of this crackling lightning with a sort of internal blue glow. Sort of matching but opposites. But as you watch them coalesce, you see actually that they're the size of maybe like a cat, but they are in the shape of unicorns.
Oh my god.
And I have a reference of what I mean. This isn't exactly what they look like. This isn't exactly what they look like, but this is where I got the idea from. Give me a second. No, they're so cute. You guys have to see them. You guys have to see. Look at this.
Oh my god.
They look like these.
Oh! Motiva just points. Baby.
Flynn is gonna send 2 of her dancing lights to each of the little unicorns and have it just swirl around in like little sparkles.
Oh my god, no, that's really cute. That's really cute. Um, the twins seem pretty amused at how delighted you are, and Rowan puts a hand on her hip and says, "Now, if you study really hard, you can also do this eventually."
You studied?
God, no. I was just that good. But you might be lucky. Also, that was my
Motiva?
Will impression.
Motiva's gonna tune everybody out, actually, and she's gonna try and find that door that had the Sarah book.
Yeah. So, I want you to tell me, and I want you to be very honest with me, because I have to first explain what this looks like. So, give me a second.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. You keep being a little too fast for me, my love. But as you guys are down here and you're starting to actually look around, Dove and Falin, who haven't been down here, you see there is now sort of this orb of light around you guys from the dancing lights from the 2 familiars. And you see that there is a hallway in 4 directions. You're basically at a junction between 4 hallways. And you just see them go off into darkness. And as you guys sort of inch further, as Motiva tries to again find where she's trying to go, you see that each like block is just that again. It is just a grid of hallways and doors. None of them are labeled, and all of them are in pitch darkness. So, Motiva, what I need you to tell me is, do you honestly think that Motiva would be able to find it again? And I will need you to make a roll, regardless.
I think I will simply make a roll. I think she will remember. I think she will remember the feeling. I think she will remember, how not to go too far. But I don't know if she'll remember exactly where. But regardless, I will roll history if it is okay.
I want you to roll history, but it needs to be at disadvantage, unfortunately, because I do think that down here is intentionally really hard to navigate.
Okay. Oh my god.
So, I think from a 7, what you glean and what you remember, because if you also remember you left during a kind of really stressful time, you kind of remember it being in a southern direction, and you think it might have been a little east, but you can't quite remember because when you were down here, you were just wandering.
Actually, can Motiva call out for Sarah? I'm so sorry that this is cursed, my love.
I had like completely forgotten the ghost name was Sarah until you were like, oh, the Sarah book, and I was like, oh, that's right.
Yes. Are you intentionally verbally calling out to see if Sarah is around?
Yes.
How loud are you being?
Probably just conversational tone.
So you're just kind of saying it into the air?
Yeah, she's just like, Sarah, are you here?
You do not get a response.
Oh, boo.
Oh, wait, can I? Okay, I'm just gonna start rapid fire casting message and pointing in various directions to see if I can get a Sean.
Oh my god, wait a minute. I think that would work. Hold on, let me look at message really quick.
The range is 120 feet. I can't remember.
Rapid fire
Yeah,
message.
it can be blocked by certain materials and certain like thickness, but
It's a good idea.
It's a good
It's really
idea.
not
I'm
a
gonna
bad
try.
idea.
Okay,
Better
yeah.
than just being like, Ashan!
sure.
Hello!
Where's our bitch?
Just
Also, are you an Oriq? Be honest.
Be
honest.
honest.
be honest with me,
That's
bro.
mean.
Okay.
How is it mean? We literally just learned that they are anti-Strixhaven. You know who else is anti-Strixhaven? Ashan!
This is when you find out that Ashan is the big bad of the campaign. 10
That's
sessions
what I've been
in.
saying from the beginning, and no one believed me, and now I'm right.
Oh, okay. So I will say, you do not get a response right here in any of the directions, and I'm including cardinal and the transitional ones, right? I will say that this is a very good idea, and you can literally use this as a dowsing rod if you want to, but you have to start telling me, like, what directions you're walking, what blocks you're stopping at, that sort of thing. I will give you a little snippet of a map right now. It's very small and it doesn't look good, but basically this is where you are at. Let me look at multimedia.
Also, can I say something I want Motiva to do?
Yes.
I would like Motiva to start searching for open door.
For open doors?
Yeah.
What directions are you walking in?
The direction that you said that Motiva remembers being around.
South? Yeah. You want to walk as... How far down south are you walking? Are you just walking until you find an open door? And are you splitting up from the gang? Because you guys are both planning on doing two different things.
Motiva, I have bad news. Motiva would have no problem splitting up.
Okay. Falin, tell me where you're going.
I'm just gonna follow Motiva.
Okay. How often are you using the sort of dowsing method? Each block?
I think it. What?
Like each corner?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, you guys both start doing that. Motiva, you do not see an open door even after you've passed 5 doors. And you, Falin, get no pings on message.
Cracks my knucks. Okay, time to start opening doors. That's all I got.
Okay, are you just gonna start opening doors until you see stuff of note in them?
Until I start seeing one I recognize.
Yeah, okay, 1 second. So you open all 10 doors you passed on this southern walk, and none of them are familiar to you. So I want you to tell me... Hold on 1 second. I'm getting another snip. Okay, so all of these orange slots are hallways. So which directions do you now want to search? Or which direction do you want to go at least? You don't have to look at every room, but...
Is it possible for me to reroll history at this point?
Yeah, I'll let you reroll history.
Do you still want me to? Huh? Sarah, did you say something?
Yes, guidance.
Oh, okay. You guys still have disadvantage. Panini.
What's up? What was the number?
No, do I have disadvantage still?
I'll say you can roll it straight.
Okay. Okay. I almost misread that as a 1 and I was about to lose my mind. Guidance is a D4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. 15.
Hey.
Okay, so I'll say as you're sort of kind of wandering around, occasionally stopping for Phelan to kind of do that sort of dowsing method with message. Phelan, you still don't get any pings, but as you're sort of frantically opening doors, Motiva, eventually you go to pass a crosswalk that has... you can only describe as a cold spot in it. And as you go to touch the door gives way and opens, and you find the room that you're looking for. It looks the same as every other room you've opened. It's only rooms full of bookshelves and old desks and rotting paper, but this one feels different.
Can I look at the books?
Yeah, you can look at the books. Do you want to roll me a really quick perception?
Yes. And I'm gonna guidance myself again, because I'm gonna fucking abuse this cantrip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Dirty 20.
Yeah, dirty 20. So you kind of go to look through these books, and something interesting that you notice about these books is that there is nothing you can tell from the spines and the titles that binds any of these books together by an overall theme.
Mm. Is there anything... Oh, go
What's
ahead.
up? No, you first.
I was gonna ask if there's any in particular that would catch my interest.
Yeah, let me see. So something interesting that I think you would pick up on is as you're sort of looking around, touching the spines of these books, you find in it a hole in where the books are. So essentially all of these bookshelves are filled floor to ceiling. There's no spaces on these bookshelves as they're almost packed to the brim, but you find a space where it looks to be like 2 or 3 books are missing. And in that slot, you actually see a book with a title that you find familiar, as you find The Curious Tale of Wisteria Vale back on the shelf.
Which one was that again?
That is one of the ones that Sean was looking at.
Yes.
Yes.
I would like to pick my book, please.
Yeah, you can definitely go over and you can find the worn leather cover, and as you pull it off the shelf, you see the same familiar tree embossed with those sort of bright yellow orbs on it. And you recognize that as Sarah's book.
Motiva Slav squats and she starts reading.
Okay, what are the other 2 of you doing?
Sean.
Are you gonna?
I think Dove is just concerned about finding a Sean at this point.
Yeah.
I think, Sarah, if you want to go in one direction and do your thingy thing, and I'll fucking split up with one of the twins. And we can go in a different direction to cover more ground.
You could both split up with your twin, and you could.
Wow!
Yeah,
Spooky double
spooky
date.
little date with Will.
Oh my god.
Okay, first of all, I really like this. I'm going to take a second and use the bathroom on a pause. For the worst states imaginable?
Yes.
Yeah, most definitely. Okay, cool. Let me open up my map again really quick. So, you guys are now... giving you guys a little "you are here" marker.
Oh, I also, real quick, while we are in this room of books,
Yes.
is there anything that I think Louvain might like?
Ooh, I forgot you were gonna steal a cool book for Louvain. Yeah, hold on, give me a sec.
Why would you do that from the fuck? Oh no!
Don't worry about it.
Wonderful,
Don't
Deacon.
shut up. Don't worry
Curse
about it.
them!
Shut up,
We're
don't
gonna
worry about
curse them!
Can I make Motiva look up and see that Phelan is looking? Sarah?
Yeah.
Motiva's going to look at Phelan dead in the ass, and she's going to say, "So just as a polite reminder, I picked up a book and read the first 3 pages and got haunted twice. I have an anti-haunting on me, and I got fucking haunted. So I want you, listen real close, detect magic on it before you touch it."
Yes.
Are you gonna cast detect magic?
I have to ritual cast it, but yeah, I'm gonna do detect magic.
Okay, you're gonna ritual cast detect magic in this room. So
Oh,
something very
no.
familiar happens here. And it reminds
boy.
you of when you were in that magic shop on Earth. Every book in this room oozes
boy.
magic in some capacity. There's
Please,
illusion,
Jack.
there's enchantment, there's evocation, there's every school of magic you can think of in this room, but there is no book that does not have it on it.
I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any that are pinging Dunamancy for me?
Yes.
Oh.
There is.
Oh, which one? I am fucking zooming in.
Yeah, so let me see really quick. So to refamiliarize myself, Dunamancy is magic pertaining to space and time, right?
Yes,
Or is it
gravity,
just time and
time,
gravity?
all that shit. All that shit. It's time, gravity, potential, space.
Do you think things that deal with alternate dimensions also fall under Dunamancy?
100%.
Delicious. Multiple books in this room ping for you.
Oh!
So, I'm going to DM you their names.
I'm delighted that there's fucking Dunamancy down here.
Give me a second. I'm also going to give you the descriptions of their books really quick.
Ooh.
Okay, I've sent you the books.
Well, all right. And the Mysterious Tale of Asteria was one that I had seen Ashan reading.
Yes. Dove has also read this book.
Okay. I'll go into that one.
Okay. Just that one?
I-
You sure you don't want to take all of them?
I see that last one. Okay. The first one listed, I don't know what that could be. The last one, that fucking screams fucking curse to me.
Are you sure you don't want it?
I'll take the first one. I'll take the
Devil?
first one.
Okay.
Jesus.
Awesome. Add both of them to your inventory.
Nice.
Who's gonna stop you from taking as many books as you want down here?
Motiva.
Hand of God for her
Much-
hubris.
Motiva will be full in self-control.
Motiva. Motiva's that one meme where it's just like, I think you've had enough, but it's a lady with ranch.
Okay. So, since you just got to do that thing, Dove, what are you doing / what direction do you want to go in?
I think if Rowan is willing, then I think Dev would ask to go with her so they can kind of split up and cover more ground
Oh yeah.
to try and find Deshawn.
I think that Rowan would definitely be into the idea, especially considering you guys have been down here. I want to say you guys have been down for at least a little bit. I want to say at least like 30 minutes by now, and nothing really has happened besides it's spooky. So
Yeah.
Rowan will be willing to split up with you.
Sure. I think we'll try northward since we haven't really covered that from like the entrance point. We haven't like really been north at all.
Yeah, so do you want to go
Um,
back to the entrance points and then go north, or do you want to just go north from where you're at?
We can start going north from where we're at, and I think Dub would also tell Falin like, hey, we're gonna cover like the vaguely like northern areas and try to find him that way. Probably like if you need anything, like shoot us a message essentially.
Flynn will nod and say, I'll be sure to message you if anything happens or if we need something.
Delicious. So you guys go to split up. Which direction are you going in, Falin, from where we're at?
I've said they were going north.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will. I guess I'll keep going south.
Okay. Awesome. So you guys go to split up while Motiva is reading. I will update you on what is in the later half of your book. After all of this, Motiva, if that's okay. Because
Oh,
you
yeah,
already know what the
totally.
first half of it is like.
Oh yeah, I expect it. I want my lovely little munchkins to get time to do stuff while I read a fucked up little book.
Yeah, definitely. And as they go to split up and leave you here in the room, as you are left alone, you feel a very cold but very familiar weight wrap around your shoulders.
Motiva relax and gets comfy like she's home.
Yeah. And you sit there with a little snake writhing around your shoulders as you are left to your lonesome. And so, who would like to go first between Dove and Falin? How are you feeling?
What do you think, Sarah?
I want to see you interact with Rowan.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness. Okay.
Hand it over. Embarrass yourself.
All right. So, as you guys go to split up, Falin takes the sort of dancing lights along with her and Will. And so, before you and Rowan are left in complete darkness, Dove, you see her go down to sort of press the tip of her finger against the horn of her little unicorn familiar, and you see the sort of glowing core, almost like a cold ember, starts to become brighter and let off a vaguely pinkish light as she casts light on it. So you guys have the ability to see. And you guys start wandering north. I want to ask a question too, Deb. Do you think you are looking in rooms as you are going, or do you think you're kind of just wandering until you notice, see, hear anything?
I think Dove will quickly try to check in every room, knowing that like the rooms are what have the books, and Ashan is here for the books, so on and so forth.
Yeah, 100%. Um, uh, you start wandering north. Sorry, let me check my map again. You start wandering north, and on each side of the hallway there is usually a door with a room in it. And each room has 4 doors, like 4 exits. So as you start going to sort of open doors and like peek in, you're getting the same sort of vibe as every other room, where each room has these sort of floor to ceiling shelves full of books. Some of them are thinner and some of them are thicker, some of them are more colorful, but there doesn't really seem to be much of a theme, and most of them are empty and covered in almost a layer of dust. And as you're sort of looking in rooms, Rowan in particular is actually looking down hallways, whether to look out for Ashan or to look out if anything is sneaking up on you. It's not quite clear, but she is basically watching your back as you are doing this sort of searching.
Oh.
And eventually you get about 5 hallways north of where you were at, and you encounter a door that is ajar.
Dove will walk up to it and like with the tips of their fingers kind of go to push it open more and just kind of peek into the room and go, Sean?
As you go to sort of push the door open, it lets out this sort of really low creak as it opens into another room full of books that, from first glance, seems to be empty.
Dove will look back to Rowan, and start heading into the room.
Yeah, as you go to start heading into the room, I think Rowan is gonna come in behind you, and you kind of see her subtly go to put a hand on the hilt of her blade. And as you come in, this room in particular that you come into is the first room that looks disturbed, besides the hole in the shelves in the other room, as this has about 4 or 5 books left on a table pushed into a corner.
Can I do like a perception check to see if I notice him or anything else in here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, okay. 22.
Yeah, so you go to look around, and your first inclination is like, oh, what if he's like hiding, or what if something is hiding in here? And you don't see or find anything living in this room. But you do sort of notice that this room looks like it has been disturbed more recently than the other rooms that you have been looking in.
Mm-hmm.
So, with as high a roll as you have, you think that maybe he has passed through this room, or at least something or someone has recently.
You said there is books on the table?
Yes, there are books on the table.
Do do they have like titles or?
As you kind of go up closer to them, you see that they both have the same style as a lot of these books, very old, like leather bound, like embossed, filigree, that sort of thing. But as you get closer, you kind of see that whatever paint had been embossed on the title has been worn away, and it looks like it's missing pages. If you want to take the time to like open them and read them if you like, but they look like they are damaged. If that makes sense.
Okay. I think Dove is gonna try to no touchy for a while.
That's fair. That's understandable.
But I think Dove will turn to Rowan and say, well, at the very least, I think he's, at least passed through here.
Rowan gives a bit of a nod and kind of looks around the room, also just like as another cursory glance, and says, well, at least we're getting warmer. And she kind of steps backwards out of the door to kind of look down the hallway again, her unicorn coming to bound out and give a bit of light. And I think what she is going to do... She's gonna look at Dove very seriously, deathly serious. Almost like a sort of stern furrow to her brow. And she looks you in the eye and says, should I do this something stupid?
Wait, what'd she say?
Should I do
Should I
something
do
stupid?
Say yes.
Dove, I think, looks back at her, just looks and says, if you think that it would help us, then absolutely, I think you should.
You see her go to nod her head, and she's sort of at the door and has her hand on the doorknob and says, do you want to be out here or in there for this?
I don't like the way that you put that, so I'm going to go out into the hallway.
Okay. She lets you come out into the hallway and she closes the door, and what she does is she goes to sort of pat the flank of her little unicorn familiar, and it starts running forward, slowly leaving you both in pitch black darkness at a junction of these hallways. As it sort of runs down 1 block, 2, 3, and then eventually, after what you can see is about 6 or 7 hallways, you can no longer see the light of this familiar. And you are left in darkness.
I see what you meant now.
She kind of gives a quiet laugh and shrugs and says, I mean, it's faster.
That it is, I won't argue that.
Homosexual activity. This is 7 minutes in heaven, but in the worst spot.
I think Dove will I think they're already standing kind of close, but I think in the pitch black, like claustrophobic ass place I can only imagine. I think Dove will get a bit closer to her, and just kind of like reach out and like touch her arm to like see where she is, you know?
Yeah, I think that she's gonna very, very casually go to hold your hand.
Aww.
And
Dove will hold her hand.
you see her go to like whisper in the dark, and at first you can't hear what it is, but you can hear a really quiet like 3, 2, 1, and then in the distance in the hallway you see a flash of light, and then you hear a crack of lightning. And that's where I'm going to cut this and go over to Flynn before this happens.
What the fuck was that?
Don't worry about it. What are you doing?
Kill him? Did you just kill a shot?
I did not kill anybody.
Just some property damage. It's fine.
Just taking down the whole biblioplex on top of us.
It don't matter. It don't bite.
It don't bite.
Okay, Flynn, what are you doing?
Hello.
You're going south, right?
I am.
Okay, tell me what you're doing, with, Sweet Will in tow, his unicorn by your side, and your dancing lights lighting your way.
I think Phelan mainly is like she starts out just continuing doing the message stuff and like keeping an eye out for anything. But the more doors they pass, the more clear it becomes that she really wants to look in them.
Yeah.
And at some point she kind of just like stops messaging and stops in front of a door and looks to Will and says, I really want to look inside.
I mean, we're in the restrictive archive of the Biblioplex. Who wouldn't want to look?
She's gonna like put her hand on the doorknob and like look to Will with her eyebrows raised.
My lips are sealed.
She gets a big smile and she opens the door.
Nice. So you open the door and you find yourself in a very interesting room because every room that you've been in so far has had these sort of bookshelves filled with books, filled with folders, filled with piles and piles of papers and stuff, right? But in this room, it's the first room you've seen. To be fair, you haven't been looking at the other rooms that are nearby, but the first room you've seen that doesn't seem to have any bound books, and it seems to almost have just walls full of scrolls, like bound up pieces of paper, tied vellum, um, piles of paper in a corner. And it doesn't look that different from the rest of the rooms, but it's different enough that it sticks out to you.
Well, this is interesting.
Will steps in behind you, leaving his familiar out in the hallway, and sort of looks around and kind of goes to start casually checking the corners of the room and sort of looking to see if anything is labeled. And unfortunately, both of you have noticed nothing in this archive has been labeled so far. Whether it is intentional, unintentional, you're not sure.
I think Lynn is gonna sit down in kind of like the middle of the room and is gonna once again ritual cast detect magic.
Delicious. I love you so much. The same thing happens where you think that it'll be different because there's no books this time. But every individual scrap of paper has some sort of magic on it.
Yeah. I expected this. Ooh, hang on. Do any of the scrolls read as divination to me?
Yes. I'll say about 2 in this room read as divination.
I would like to grab both of them.
Yeah. Nothing happens when you pick them up.
Okay.
Do you open them?
Before opening them, Philin is gonna look to Will and say, if this explodes in my face, you have my back, yes?
You see him go to pause, and then he goes to nod and say yes. 1 second. And he goes over to you, and he's going to touch you, and he's going to cast a spell on you. I am going to check what spell that is really quick. I'm sorry. I hate how they do the stat blocks in this. Yes.
She's going to touch you.
Touching you on the shoulder. Maybe on the elbow? I don't know. Which is more slutty?
Maybe on the breast.
Maybe on the tit?
Right on the titty?
The bitty!
Oh, delicious. Awesome. Okay, so you actually would know this spell because it is a spell that is a real spell. He's gonna cast Mage Armor on you. So, like, obviously If it's like a fireball, it's not going to help. But if it's like a thing
Yeah.
that will attack you, you know.
Yeah, and that should last for like freaking 8 hours.
Yes, so you have mage armor on you.
Yay! Flynn gets a little bit of a blush. She says, "Oh, thank you."
Yes, well, I would prefer if you didn't explode. But this should help, at least marginally.
She will nod her head, and she's going to open the first scroll.
Okay, so you open up the scroll and nothing happens, which gives you both collectively a sigh of relief. But as you kind of look at it, you realize that it's not a book, it's not a story, it's not even an essay or a paper. You can tell that this is an incantation to a spell that you have never heard of.
Oh shit!
You will have to spend time trying to decode this spell to even fathom what it does.
I open the second one.
And you see the same.
Yes!
You can glean from these two scrolls that this could be a room that specifically houses magic spells.
Yes! This is exactly what I was hoping for!
We love the Mystical Archive.
Yes! Flynn looks very excited about this. And she's going to nod and look out at all the scrolls, and she says, "Alright, well, I think it is safe to say that this is a room of spell scrolls."
Interesting. I've heard faculty mention, and I suppose I had always taken the idea that the Biblioplex had every book as a grain of salt, but I've also heard there's a rumor, or maybe it's boastful, but I've heard people say that the restricted archive has, from what they say, every spell that's ever been cast.
Holy shit.
And that's... I didn't think it was true. It might not be true still, but to find spells down here locked away is... well, it's a fun secret. And he kind of gives you a bit of a grin.
Flynn gives a little laugh and says, "Indeed," and her eyes are kind of wide looking at it and everything. It's a very dangerous rumor. Probably spend hours down here.
That might be why your friend does. I suppose now that I'm down here, I can't really blame him.
Yes, I might have to join him on his little adventures down here. Oh, but yes, speaking of him, and she pockets the scrolls, and kind of like shakes her head and says, "Yes, finding a Sean." If I stay here for another second, I'm not gonna leave.
We do have more pressing matters, but this was enlightening. And he goes to kind of lead you out of the room. For a second, putting a hand on the small of your back before ushering you out and closing the door, so you guys can continue walking. I know. Do you think you're still going to continue to go south?
Yes. I'm also, at one point, I'm gonna, since the other unicorn isn't here, I'm gonna send 2 of the, dancing lights to instead circle around Will.
Okay, nice.
Yes.
We love, our bitches being able to see.
Yes.
Delicious. So you keep walking south, and you realize the farther and farther away you got from where you split up, the more quiet it had been. And you have a pretty good passive perception, so you can pick up the almost perceptive change that you notice that it's not as quiet as it had been. And as you step into another conjunction, you go to look down a side passage out of habit even, and you see an eye glittering in green and as tall as you. And that's where we're gonna cut where you're at.
Ooh. Ooh. Get the fuck out of there.
Hi, Motiva.
Hi.
Hi, Motiva. Do you want to know what the rest of your book talks about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll talk about your book. Let me open it up really quick.
You should DM it to me so you could just tell me how you're gonna fucking kill me.
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh.
Hold on, I'm gonna DM it to you and then you can read it.
God.
Here is the basics, and then... Okay, tell me when you're done reading it.
Well, I've read it.
Okay, cool. So what do you do after you're done reading the book?
Put it in my pack. And Matia starts to get up to get ready to leave.
Okay, you get up and you gather up your things, and what do you do?
Mativa's gonna walk back towards Hole.
Okay, you can definitely do that. You sort of wander back. You're not that far away. And you are sort of left under this sort of, beacon of light, having to resort back to using your phone as a light. And you wait. And as you wander, the weight on your shoulders has not left you.
Aw, hey, that's lovely.
Yeah. She is there.
She is here. I am safe. I have my sister with me.
Yes.
Mativa's going to whistle out.
Okay, are you gonna whistle particularly loud?
You know, like the parent whistle that people do to get their kids to come home?
Yeah, the really sudden, really sharp one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do that and you can hear the sound sort of echo down each of the hallways surrounding you. And right after that, I feel like is when you hear the echo of that thunder crack from earlier. And if you have nothing else in particular to do, then I will go back to Dovey.
Of course, it's Dovey time.
Hi, Dove. Oh, I think Mackenzie is gone. That's okay. I'm gonna give you one more tidbit that you hear after the lightning crack. I think you also hear kind of the echo of a what the fuck?
Motiva's gonna like mumble in Finnish to Sister Danger.
Well, we're not gonna keep going with you. I'm just saying that's the last thing you hear before we cut.
No, I know, but I'm just like imagining that something Motiva's just like, huh?
What? Siesta?
Huh?
Siesta?
Siesta?
I didn't expect to be writing Rowan's unicorn exploded in my notes today.
Don't worry about it.
Kerblam.
Kerblam. Hi, Devi. We're back to you now.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know if y'all were. I just
No,
got
it's okay.
back.
Delicious. Welcome back. We're back to you. You just heard a thunder crack and you are in pure darkness with Rowan.
I think Dove squeezes Rowan's hand a little bit tighter and goes, so what exactly, was your plan?
So as you're kind of asking, Rowan is already starting to walk, kind of pulling you along by the hold on your hand. Just walking like straight since you cannot see in the areas that you're moving. So you can only hope that you're walking in a straight line. But Rowan kind of gives a bit of a laugh and say, well, I sent my little friend out forward, and what I was going to do was I was going to make a really loud noise and see if I heard any responses. And this is whenever you now hear, I told Motiva that we heard this, but this is now whenever you hear kind of a muffled but echoey, what the fuck? That sounds kind of like a Sean.
Oh, I hear him!
And my plan worked. As you guys sort of hustle to go find a Sean, wherever this unicorn went. Rowan is big brain in the stupidest way, and I appreciate that in a woman.
Rowan, that was a brilliant plan that saved us so much time!
Thank you, thank you. I just think our other plans weren't working, and this place is a lot bigger than I expected it to be. Do you think it... I suppose it could go for miles, like the top part of
If
the
it's-
Biblioplex.
If it's under the Biblioplex, then it probably plays by the same rules, yes. I wonder if it goes even deeper, too.
Lots of thing to explore later, maybe. And you guys walk forward, and you eventually see Rowan's little unicorn kind of doing a little run in a circle. And it's sort of still letting off this light. And you see, almost by the time you get you get to the unicorn, you also see movement down one of the corridors, and you hear again in a familiar voice, was that you? And it also sounds like a Sean, as you see a Sean step forward from a shadow.
We were looking for you.
Are you fucking insane?
Apparently Rowan is.
No. I call it a stroke of genius. And as you guys are sort of talking, Ashan gets really close and almost motions for you guys to be fucking quiet. And Ashan just goes, there are things down here. You know that, right?
I mean, not exactly. You you didn't really share a lot when you told us about this place.
Have you not heard them?
No. We've all split up looking for you. We didn't know.
Well, I guess if nothing's been bothering you, it's fine, but just try to keep it down. Yeah?
Well, we found you, so it worked, and it's fine.
Yeah, I guess so. Did you need something?
We were concerned about you after we got back to the room and you were gone after we had all just been attacked.
Yeah, well,
It would be nice if you told us sometimes where you went. We thought something may have happened to you.
you see him sort of give a sigh, and he, like, tugs at the fishhook in his ear, and he's like, I suppose that makes sense. We didn't have anything, like, if anything, and then he kind of motions over to Rowan and say, I mean, neither of us dealt with anything today.
That's true, but I mean, if it happened once, it could happen again in the same day. And I think we know a little bit more about what happened and who did it. But either way, Mativa's reading the book that had Sarah in it, and Belen went off in the other direction searching for you.
You see him go to roll his eyes and give another sigh, and he looks like markedly less aggressive and now just kind of mildly exasperated. And he's like, all right, well, let's go gather the other two. And
What were you doing down here?
same stuff
Or
I'm
looking
always
for?
doing. I had to wait until tonight. I have to wait until nighttime to start coming now. I don't know if you've noticed, or it might not be you guys, I suppose, but I feel like, I don't know, like I'm on some watch list or something. I feel like I have people, sounds paranoid, but tailing me, I guess. Can't have people see me come down here, can I? So I wait till it's dark.
We were told something similar about today's events. About being careful about returning to the crime scene, all of that.
I wasn't at a crime scene.
Oh, no, just...
Oh,
Never
no,
mind.
you mean today. No, it's been going on for the past couple days. It's why I've been in the room reading all day. I have been fucking off a little less. I don't know if you guys have noticed.
Because you enjoy our company?
Because I have to be careful because people are following me, remember?
Have you ever seen what they looked like?
I mean, it's not like mysterious people. It's like even whenever I'm trying to be alone, there will be someone around, like faculty, a student. The same handful. That's why I said
Maybe
like
they...
watch list.
I think that would make sense then. Maybe they do catch on when you start skipping classes.
God, that would be annoying. You guys are kind of talking as you're sort of walking and having this conversation. Sorry, were you gonna say anything else?
I think Dev was just going to ask if he's ran into any creatures when he's been down here, but other than that, I think they're waiting to like share everything until they get back with the others.
Yeah, you ask that and he kind of shrugs and he says, "Yeah, but I haven't seen them. It's just noises. Like grabbling, heavy breathing, deep rumbles. I suppose that could be the earth or whatever. I don't know if this counts as a cave or not. I haven't reached a wall yet. But I've taken to being a bit careful when I'm down here. Just in case, considering me and the other one got ran out of here one of the first times we went down here."
Oh.
Yeah, that ghost that's hanging around screamed at us. And I don't know, I feel like I saw like something looking at us by the time we got back up to the surface.
That's not terrifying at all.
Yeah, no, totally normal, you know, just your average stroll in the park, right?
Then we'll go back to the room where Motiva is.
Delicious. You go back to the room where Motiva is, and I'm going to go over to Flynn. Hi, Flynn. You see a really big eyeball.
I do. I think immediately upon seeing this giant fucking eyeball, Felin is gonna grab Will's hand with one of hers, and then her other hand is gonna grab his arm. Is just gonna very quickly drag him back.
Yeah, you're gonna drag him back around the wall.
Yep.
As you go to move out of sight of this eye, you hear a deep rumble that almost shakes your ribs. Like the lowest growl you can imagine. Or like a groan, almost. And as you sort of watch around the corner where you saw this eye, you see a claw come forward and press upon the ground. The entirety of this clawed hand taking up the space where you were standing. And it looks lizard-like. Draconic, maybe?
Oh my god! I got a dragon in this bitch!
The dungeons are in the dragons.
The dungeon.
I don't want this.
Oh my god.
Nobody wanted this.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. I have to read an item I have.
Yeah, okay.
I think I'm gonna save it. Felin is just gonna keep dragging Will back and kind of quietly say, "Run, maybe run, yes."
I feel like at first when you pulled Will back, Will was a bit confused, but then seeing the claw and hearing you say that, Will does not even wait for you to say anything else, because I feel like Will... Hold on 1 second. I have to see this.
Run, maybe, please.
So I'm gonna do something very fun, right? So I am going to say almost instantly, Will takes his arm from your grasp, immediately goes to grab you around the waist, and teleports 60 feet backwards in a plume of ice and snow.
Oh my god.
Before he lets you go as you materialize, and you turn and run.
Yep.
I'm sure Felin and Sarah can appreciate this later, but right now there is a dragon in the dungeon.
Yes, Sarah, appreciating this very much. Felin can appreciate it later.
Yeah, so you run, obviously, and as you are running, you pass the room where Motiva was. And so then you see Ashawn, Dove, and Rowan walking towards that room as you guys are running like hell.
Just running, not really, like, she slows a bit to make sure she can communicate this, but doesn't stop and says, "Run, dragon!"
What?
Dragon!
Hello? Ashawn doesn't wait for anything else to be said. Ashawn is booking it and not waiting for anyone.
Wait, what? Motiva? Can you hear this? Dove's gonna
I'm
run
like
to the
stopping
room
like at the room that Motiva is in.
Motiva is not there.
Yeah, you both convene at this room and you see that it is empty.
She's gone!
Oh god, I am rapid fire messaging Russ. Say Motiva! I'm yelling out.
Yeah, Motiva, you hear your friends desperately calling for you.
Motiva's just gonna call out very politely. What was it? Abyssal Felin knows?
Yeah.
Infernal?
Abyssal.
Motiva says, "Shut the fuck up. This is a library."
I'm gonna yell back in Abyssal, "It's a library with a dragon in it!"
Shut up.
No, we are running!
So, Dove, Will, Rowan, Fallen, and Nishan, you guys are running towards where this beacon of light is at, where Motiva is sitting with her phone. And as you are like 1 block away, you can see Motiva. You can see the light that her phone is giving off. You can see the light from above. You also see, in between this 30-foot span, this draconic claw come back again, instead stepping through the room between this block to shove its enormous face, like chin to eyebrow, is from floor to ceiling as it moves seamlessly through this stone to fix one eye on Motiva and one eye on the rest of you. And it is gonna consider you both and say, in a voice that rasps against your brains, "You know, when you come from the same place every time, you get awful easy to catch."
Eh.
So how about we leave it off right here, because it's about to be 10 p.m.
Yeah. Oh my god.
How does everybody feel?
Ashawn, if you had a fucking founder sit after us, I'm gonna beat you to death.
No, I hate this.
Motiva being like, shut up, ha ha ha, the dragon fucking looking at her, and she's like, what the fuck is that?
Hee-hoo.
Do we know what it looks like? What does it
Yeah,
look
I have a
like?
picture. I'm getting it to you right now.
What?
Oh my god.
It has a picture, oh no.
Oh boy.
We gonna die here? Are we gonna go into the fucking detention box? Indefinitely.
Our house. Underneath the biblioplex. Our
There's
house.
our dragon in the middle of the dungeon.
I do keep going.
Oh my god, what the fuck is that?
Oh my god. It's like
Yeah.
a fucking ghost dragon.
Yes, it is. That's why it can go through the walls.
Oh my god.
What?
That's so cool, but also so terrifying.
Yes.
What?
This bitch can follow us anywhere.
What the fresh hell?
I'm so excited about this cliffhanger. I'm going to stop the recording now.